Hi, everyone. Surprise. There are 5 of us. I thought about doing 6 of us, like the Brady Bunch. I told Sonny, I'm like, we could totally do like the Brady Bunch thing. But we stayed on 5. And I was told earlier that today is actually National Taco Tuesday. Did you know that? Yes. Today is the day.
I didn't know that.
It's not just a normal Taco Tuesday. It's National Taco Tuesday.
Hey, that's what I had for dinner. I don't even know.
I did not have tacos for dinner. I should have. Welcome in. If you don't know, I'm Kat, the nurse flipper, and I am joined by my co-host. Whoops, that way. When Rod left, I all of a sudden forgot which way to point. I don't know what happened after like 5 years. I just went rogue. Sonny wasn't sure if he could make it, so I had asked Scott to fill in, and Scott had said yes. So what we did is we said, we're just going to let Scott come hang out if he wants to, and he did. So we're happy to have him with us again.
Wait, I had a choice?
We twisted his arm. So if you do not know, the other 2 guests have both been on before. They are both friends of mine. I've met them. I've met everybody on the panel in person, which is absolutely wonderful when that happens, I think, especially as spread out as we all are. So below me is Jimmy from Old School Flips. Catty corner, very catty corner, is Scott Chachingking. And then, dang it, up top over there at the other end is Starr from Flippin Hippos. Scott, you got some fans in there. They like you, buddy. One tea, please. One tea. I'm going to make Jimmy, Scott, and Starr big. Let them introduce themselves to you just in case you don't know them. Marcia is backstage helping us as well, and she's in the chat, so she will drop their links for you in case you don't know them. So here is Mr. Jimmy.
What's going on, everybody? I am Jimmy, Old School Flips. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and I'm also on a podcast called the Buy It All Podcast. We talk mainly reselling stuff, eBay, Poshmark, and stuff like that. Come check it out. And I sell mainly on eBay, and as you can probably see, I do a lot of toy stuff.
Yes, we see lots of toys. All right, here I got to remember. Oh, Scott. Here's Scott.
I'm Scott, also known as Chachingking, and I'm on YouTube and Instagram. I have a TikTok and a Facebook, but I don't do much with them. Melody and I have been selling on eBay since '99, but it's our primary income since 2019, and we sell everything, so we're having fun.
Perfect. Here's Starr.
Hey guys, I'm Starr from Flippin Hippos. I sell on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, some other places. I sell everywhere. I used to focus mostly on plush and jeans, but now I've kind of pivoted more into jewelry, so it's like jewelry and jeans. And I am on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as Flippin Hippos. And I'm also now selling live every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on 10th and Main, and that's a whole separate YouTube channel, but you can find us at 10th and Main.
Perfect. I didn't know you were doing jewelry. I'm so out of the loop.
I started last year. It was my goal last year to branch out into a new niche. So I bought like a 1-pound box of jewelry, and I fell in love, just costume jewelry. And I have like a dealer that gives me $6 per pound. And I've got more jewelry in my store now than any other category, and I absolutely love it.
I love jewelry, and I'm really trying to focus on buying mostly jewelry so I can hopefully decrease the amount of space I need, because Brooke wants to, not sell, but trade. My other house is a mobile home, and I use it for my inventory. And she wants to trade that in and get a new one for herself. Like, she'll purchase the new house. And I'm like, you better find me somewhere to put my stuff. So I'm trying to think of ways that can decrease the amount of square footage that I'm using. And I think jewelry is a great option for that. Yeah, thank you for throwing that up, Valerie. And Marcia, I know you're busy, but if you can find it, I didn't know. I should ask people that.
The links here. Will it let me put it in?
I think you're a moderator, I think. All right, we have a few super chats. I want to grab those first. I really do appreciate you guys, especially when you're sending them before we're live. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you. Lala's Mercantile sent a $4.99 super chat. Listen, I'm going to give myself away so you guys can just hit it, and I'm going to give you this to tell on myself. So here you go. I do have fun stuff in my cup tonight. I will tell myself. So do with that information what you will. But yeah, Alex Gray sent a $2.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I'm gonna do Sunny since Sunny's back. Here's Sunny.
I made this dumb video a while back.
That I really love it.
I made this dumb video a while back about what's my favorite thing to flip, and I said hair flips. It was just stupid fun.
All right, I'm leaving.
That's great. Peace out. You got enough people? I'm out. My good friend Elena over at Treasure Diva Thrifts said $4.99. Thanks for educating us. And I love kitties. I know she loves kitties. Elena, I really hope to get back to thrifting soon. Me and Elena used to go like once or twice a month. And I haven't been in months. So hopefully I will go again soon. But here is the kitty cat. I wonder if there's like an award for the most different super chats, because I feel like I would win because I have like so many different super chats. It's absolutely ridiculous. Thanks to Gino and Yvonne Thrifty Rich. All right. Aunt B, Miss Bridget said, what is an item I need to be on the lookout for when shopping? So if you had to tell her one item, what would you tell her?
What is an item I need to be on the lookout for when shopping right now?
Right now.
Right now. See, I'm in the hot seat. I'm already failing. I don't know. I'm just gonna give like a bolo that I just recently sold some plush from. Be on the lookout for plush from Blue's Clues, the Wiggles, or the Bear in the Big Blue House. I just recently came across a yard sale where they had all of those for $1 a piece. I bought a bunch of them, and they're already flying out the door. Wiggles, Blue's Clues, and Bear in the Big Blue House.
This time of year, we sell the fool out of vintage Christmas. Just the older you get, the better. But vintage Christmas, really beginning in September, it'll sell all year. But beginning in September and October, it'll all be gone by November. So vintage Christmas right now is just smoking.
I guess I'll give a hint for the clothing sellers out there. I like to sell plus size women's tops. Torrid, Lane Bryant are your best bets, but I can even grab a 2X or 3X Walmart branded women's blouse and sell it for 25 or 30 bucks. So the big women's plus sizes with the really nice prints, those will sell for a pretty good amount. Even Walmart.
Keeping it with women, I feel like this is a big gap that people don't look at who are looking for vintage apparel. They're often mainly in the men's section and never really looking in the women's section. Most of the time I go inside the women's stuff and I find things pretty fast, and sometimes the guys are mixed up in it and vice versa. So I would say women's stuff, apparel, vintage apparel.
Yeah, for me, I have been selling a lot of, and I don't know if you'd see them at the thrift store though, like the straight razors, like the barber's knives or razors. I bought a big lot of them on an estate sale. I would watch for those. And I would also say made in Italy on anything. Like pay attention. If it says made in Italy, a lot of times it means money. So, and on clothing, on purses, on everything, watch for made in Italy would be my thing. All right, I'm going to do my octopus now. Where is my octopus? I lost my octopus. This is tragic. Where is, oh, I found him. Here we go.
Swimming away.
Dun, dun, dun. Aaron Hopkins, Revive by Design, sent a $9.99 super chat and said, this question is for all, but relates mostly to Kat. I'm a nurse and eventually wanting to leave the field to sell full time. How did you know you were ready? So if you were working a job, you went to full-time reselling, what did it take for you to know you're ready? Profits versus salary, or you just do it?
Mine's a little bit, it's a complicated story, so I won't go into it, but I definitely had a number that I wanted to have saved up. I was saving every dime I made and putting into the business. I didn't spend it at all. I was saving it up, so I had a number. And then there was just a disagreement with my current supervisor that was like the thing that pushed me over the edge. I was no longer doing the career I was doing originally. I had some medical stuff that forced me into customer service that I didn't like. So it was really easy for me to decide. Oh, and I was really close to the number I wanted to be at anyway. So those two things combined made that decision for me.
This is actually a great question. For me, when I started teaching, I always told Melody that I think this is a job you have to love. And if it's not about the kids, you need to leave. And my last year as a superintendent, I qualified for retirement. And I found myself thinking more about things like budgets and stuff like that. And I was like, it's time to go. I always said I would leave when other stuff started to interfere with that. I had a place to go. We already have a business running, and I already had, an income that would come in from my retirement. So for us, it just made sense to retire then.
For me, unfortunately, I wasn't given a choice. I was an NA. I worked in the healthcare field, and I hurt my back at work and became disabled. And I had no choice. I was in a corner, so I had to make this work and replace my income that way.
I knew my first year, like before I even made my first year, how good things were going with eBay, that I could be full-time. But being one that listens to his wife and is afraid of her, I had to get permission. It took another 3 years until I got threatened at work. This was during the COVID stuff. And I won't say what all the gentlemen threatened me with his words, but at the end of what he said, he was like, how about you get out of here? And I just had this like vision of everything that I was doing, everything that was working. And I thought, why not? So right there and then I just pressed the microphone, asked for my manager and said, hey, I'm out of here. Come get a replacement. And I was gone. So that's my story. Long story short.
Yeah. So for me, I didn't have anything saved up because my plan was to quit at the end of 2022. That was my plan. So I was going to save up, but I didn't have a dollar amount. My big thing was that I was able to pay my bills with the profits that were coming from eBay. And I'm glad everybody's drinking except Scott.
I just have water. I'm boring.
I should have got something. I need a drink.
You can go if you want. So my plan was to quit December of 2022. If you watch the video, I did a video on it. In February of 2022, I had switched to a unit from being a float pool. I was float pool for 8 years. I went everywhere. I went like ER. I went to the OR. I went to PEDS. I literally went everywhere. And I went and transferred to a psychiatric unit because they had no experienced nurses. I had been getting sent there a lot and having to charge. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be the charge day, then I'm fine with that. And they knew about my YouTube. They knew what I was doing. I went down to 2 days a week and they told me they were fine with it. And then somebody else complained and said I wasn't helping them. And I'm all about helping people unless it's problems you create yourself, in which case I'm not so keen on helping you if you dig your own hole. And that was the case with that. And so they called me in the office, said, hey, you can't get on YouTube anymore. Not the internet. I could go on TikTok. I could go on Instagram. I could go on Facebook. I could go on whatever I wanted except for YouTube. And they knew what I was doing. They knew why I cut down my hours. So they told me that. I said, okay, I left. The next day I walked back in, I handed my 2 weeks notice and said, I'm out of here. And I'll figure it out. And in March or April that year is when my teacup video went viral. I made the most money I've ever made from YouTube in a month. And I'm like, okay, we're going to figure this out. And now we're coming up on 4 years that I've been full-time and I don't regret it. And I think I cried in that video because Joey Bada Bing quit being a mailman. And I got onto him because he didn't have a plan. And I told him he was being irresponsible. And then here I go doing the exact same thing because I didn't know about my insurance or anything. And so my big thing, and like Scott was saying, Scott said, when it's not for the kids, I have always my whole life been, if I'm not happy at a job, I'm not going to be there. If I wake up and don't want to go somewhere, I shouldn't be there. And I don't think anybody should be miserable going to work. You know, so for me with this, like if I get miserable, say I get miserable selling jewelry, okay, I'll stop and switch to linens. If linens bug me, I'll switch to something else. And I did a lot of jewelry and stopped probably 4 years ago, and I'm back on it. And I've been on it for over a year now, and I really like it. But the nice thing with reselling is you can change it. Like Starr added a new niche, and it's like she loves doing it, and she's saying she's got more of it. The good thing with this is you can switch what you're doing and almost switch the feel of your job of reselling without switching the actual, you know, job. You can find a different way to do it. You could go to retail arbitrage if you wanted, things like that. I was waking up and looking at my phone and being like, I can still call in for the day. Like, that's what I was thinking in my head. Like, it's more than 2 hours before my shift, I can call in. And I was waking up without an alarm to think this. And when that's the case, like, it's time to go. I don't think anybody should be miserable. Like, I would rather make minimum wage and be happy than make $100 an hour. And I can honestly say I mean that, because it's not all about money. You know, I think you need to be happy. You need to be content and not stressed out with what you're doing for work.
That's also the control that we gain learning about everything. For example, for everybody, we're very private, me and my wife, with certain things. I have been at the hospital every day, sometimes even staying there day after day. And I'm going to do it again tomorrow and the day after at the Ronald McDonald's place. But because of learning how to resell, and I could have learned anything else, but specifically on reselling, if I didn't learn what I know now, I would not be able to not be at the hospital for family and for what's going on. So I had that control. And why a nurse who loves thrifting was talking to me, we're actually talking about Kat. And my wife jumps in because Carla knows Kat. She's met her. She's met Jimmy. Jimmy's actually stayed with us in person. I could talk a lot about him, a lot of positive things. And I met Starr too at the Reseller Remix, I believe. But that's the control you have once you just what you want to have, to be somewhere, even when it's not a place you want to be, but still have control and make money. I sold some freaking, what was it? It's not Italian, or is it Italian? Limoges plates. Bernardo Limoges plates. While I was sitting there, the nurse who likes thrifting, she's not a reseller, she just likes thrifting. All she heard was cha-ching, like we heard a second ago, from either Jimmy or Scott or Kat or Starr. It wasn't me for sure. But $399, me sitting there for something I listed a few months ago. And then t-shirts got sold. So there's a lot that people talk about thrifting that, oh, it's just thrifting, you're not doing anything special. It don't have to be special for anybody but yourself and what your goals are.
And we're not just thrifting. We're accountants. We're customer service. We're personal shoppers. We wear a lot of hats. We do a lot more work than just thrifting. That's one of my pet peeves when people are like, oh, you just thrift for
I do too. We are in a unique position. One of my videos, and it just didn't hit the algorithm, doesn't have many views. It's my 20 best sales ever. And it's all stuff that I made nothing on, or almost nothing. And it's stuff that I got to the right person. Like we picked up some, I bought them at an estate sale. They were the fake breasts. I don't know what they're called. For somebody who's had a double mastectomy, they're super expensive, And I got them and I listed them. I had a lot of people that were resellers, and but I had probably had them listed a couple of months. I got this offer, super low offer, like would have been insulting when I went and looked at her feedback. It was all yarn, knitting needles. Just, you could tell who this person was. So I accepted the offer, sold them at a massive loss. I can't hardly tell this story, but I got a letter back from her like a month later that she had had a double mastectomy like 15 years before, that she hadn't felt pretty since. And she knew that it was just, so I think we're in a unique position to put things in the right hands that we wouldn't get an opportunity to do other places. I know everybody I know has that story where they picked up something, they found out who it belonged to. And I think that's incredible. So that's what's sold.
Nice.
So they're Diablo vintage spurs. They're show spurs. Who would like to take a guess? Post your guess in the comments what you think that sold for. They were listed about 2 months. Here's the funny thing. These came out of the storage locker, the one that I almost died at. The one where I had the bleeds in my stomach and ended up in the hospital.
Okay, I'm guessing.
It was these. So post what you think they sold for.
No idea.
I'm just guessing. I have no clue, but
$1
Yeah,
million.
I would already be gone. So I'd be like, peace out, everybody.
I'm going to retire.
Bob, I'm going to go with
$375.
$649. Final offer.
$375.
$1.
Hey, Robert's in the
Yeah,
chat.
I've had like family message me of like pottery and stuff that I do when I have the work of them. I had the artists, close family members send me pictures, tell me feel free to use it in your listings with him working in his studio. There have been like a lot of really, really cool stories for sure. They're few and far between, but they do come, and that definitely kind of hits home for sure. All right, I'm gonna do Dalton with his pillow fight for this one. He should be coming out here to tell us goodnight soon, I think. All right. Teresa wants to know, do you leave feedback for your buyers on eBay?
Yeah, I use the automated with the store. The store, I don't think I selected. I think I just let it do its thing. So I use the store. When you have a store, you can select automated, and it just automatically does it right when they buy it. So
Yeah, same.
So I have a good tip to go along with that. I created a coupon code for 20% off. And in my automatic feedback that I leave for my buyers, my automatic feedback says, save 20% next time you shop at Flippin or the Hippo Hut with code Hippo Hut. And that way, anybody that ever reads their feedback sees my 20% off code, and it can generate more sales. So that's like my favorite tip to give people.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That is genius. So I'll tell you my hack. I set up my disc. No, I'm just joking. No, I only leave it when I remember. Like if I'm on there and I'm like, oh, I should leave some reviews. Let me go back and see what I have for purchases of my own and for customers. But that's awesome.
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm horrible about
feedback with the coupon code.
Yeah, it's self-promotion at its best. Like that's what you do. I have automatic feedback turned on because technically if they pay, they did their job. They might be a pain in your butt, but if they paid you on time, they did their job. So mine leaves feedback for them after they pay. It's automated after they pay. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good, I might write that down. I might steal Star's idea.
Everyone
Can you
steal.
see? Can you get a report? Like, do you see how many people use that coupon? Do you look at that? Is it utilized?
That's a good question. I'm going to go on the back end and see if I can see.
I am interested to know, you know, like if it's actually something that is working. When you sell at once, like it's I don't want to go and leave individual feedback. I am horrible about leaving feedback for sellers. And if you message me, I definitely am not leaving feedback for you. That's all I'll say. Like I'll go leave it for somebody else and not for you. I'll be like, oh, I should go leave it for this person who didn't bother me.
So I reset it I set it for 45 days and then I have to set it up again. I just set this up on October 4th and I've already sold $155.81 through it.
Nice. So it is working.
Yeah, so you can go on your back end and see. But I reset. I think that they like cap you out on how long you can put a code or a coupon, so you have to reset it.
So you would have to go like redo your automated feedback response every time you have to make a new coupon?
No, just use the same code.
Just make it the same code.
Yeah, you just copy your old code. I make it a half like it as soon as it ends, I do it again. Otherwise, it will tell you that code's already in use.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. T. Messer says, I need to dispute an INAD and cannot find the option. I paid return shipping. I have the item verified it wasn't an INAD, but I have not yet refunded. Well, I need to complete the return to dispute the INAD. I've Googled and can't figure it out.
I believe I can't stay for. Don't they have to report the buyer, right? And then that starts it.
Yeah. Pretty sure
I'm not
you
sure
give
if you
them
have
the
to refund
refund, but
first.
then you report them, and that's how
Yeah.
you report that they didn't do it
And it opens a case.
or that they
right?
were wrong.
Right. Yeah. As far as I know, there's no way once they claim INAD, it's going to go through the return process, and then you can start, doing some things about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
my
think
turn.
so.
My question is, why are you disputing it? Unpopular opinion, but returns are part of the business, and I usually don't spend energy fighting it, unless it's like $1,000 thing and they clearly sent you back a box of rocks, right?
Yeah.
But I don't really spend time disputing INADs. What you can do is refund 50% and say that you're refunding them the 50% because they dishonestly and erroneously opened an item that is described.
Erroneous. That's
Erroneously.
a big word. Erroneous.
Yes, I'm a reader.
I'm kind of on team unpopular as well with that. I have a very similar view on that. Especially if I can sell the item again and it's something that will go out the door easily. I lean that way as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't waste my time either because I used to get so mad over returns.
Yep.
I mean, like that whole day and possibly the next day, I was in a bad mood. And it might be a $10 return. $10. Like how much is your sanity worth? Like, so yeah, I don't worry about it anymore either.
Just refund 50%. And if you say it's because they were dishonest, eBay won't care.
Yeah. And eBay will give it to them if they complain out of eBay's pocket, not yours.
Everybody wins.
Yes. All right. Jack New York says, with holiday season around the corner, do you show appreciation to employees of your favorite thrift store? Is a money gift card appropriate? Goodwill policy states no money gifts. This is a good question.
I wish I could go back to my favorite yard sales of the year where I found really great stuff and knock on their door and be like, maybe I should just a gift basket or something. Actually, I don't. I thrift a little bit, but I definitely don't do that. Everybody has their own opinions on Goodwill. I don't do that, but I have friends. They are now my personal friends that work at the post office, and they take care of me and they're awesome. And anytime I have a question, I can go in there and they help me out. They help me out big time. So I definitely bring them a gift and candy and all kinds of stuff and donuts in the morning. So the post office is where I do those kind of things for. And I also have a local shipping place that does the UPS. And sometimes if I have something more difficult, I'll ask them to box it for me. Supporting small business, I also bring them stuff as well. So
same here. I don't really go to Goodwill. I don't go to thrift stores at all. When I was going to the Goodwill bins, there was a couple of people there that would, I shouldn't even say this out loud, everybody's going to hate me. They would give me the hookup. I would show up and say, hey, they would be like, hey, we saved this stuff for you because it looked like you. And then, like, they would bring me this awesome stuff. And like, I would just shake hands with them at Christmas. And if they happened to palm some money, that was great. But I don't go to thrift stores. But my post office is amazing. And I will straight up hook them up come Christmas time because they're worth every penny.
So same. I go thrifting once a month. I'm the leader of my local eBay circles. I think they changed the name to eBay circles. The local eBay meetup group here. We go thrifting once a month together, but I mostly just order stuff. But with the postal workers, I do porch pickup. My guy is so awesome. So I do give him a gift card. I know that they're not supposed to accept cash, but I always hand it to him and wink and say, don't tell anybody. And I usually put like a 50 in there and like a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts gift card or something for him. Because he's here every day and picks up my packages every day. And I live somewhere where sometimes he's doing it in 20-degree weather, the snow. And in the summer, it can be 100 degrees. So I appreciate him. And I would say that we should all be keeping our postal workers.
Appreciation for me, I would say I actually talk to the employees that I am familiar with, and I'll talk to them for a while and not even thrift or anything. Then they end up trying to give me a hookup like Scott and Starr. Some of those hookups it hasn't been a hookup. It's like more of they want to hook me up as far as telling me go to this back door and the cabinet. There's a key and there's like some MacGyver stuff, and I'm like that is too much. Like I find that to be unfair for anybody else. And the last thing I want is to have somebody see it, record it, and share it. Like, look, Sonny's over here doing this. So I am fair beyond belief. As far as my postal pickup person, her name's Morgan. She's amazing. We hook her up throughout the year, every year. And when it comes to me giving things to people, like there has to be a moment for me where I cannot let go of this idea of like, I want to show like more appreciation, more of a thank you. And I'll give them like a box of donuts, even if it's like too much for them. I'm like, sure, but to whoever you're with. But that goes for anybody in the world that I come across. If they leave that kind of stamp on my heart, it's in me to just be compelled to do something about it.
Sonny, is there a fly on your camera?
No.
Nobody else is seeing that fly?
No.
No.
Is there a fly on your eye?
Is it on your camera?
No.
Little extra
No.
whiskey in the cup, huh?
Yeah. Are you at
Okay.
9% volume?
Maybe. I have to put this up there. I'm going to change the subject. Well, kind of change subject. Susan said the USPS workers at my local place are so rude. That's why I switched to UPS. So I have told this story, and some of you might have heard it. My ex-husband was texting with one of the front counter girls at the USPS. So they will not get anything from me. And I messaged her husband and told on them. That is me. I think people deserve to know because that's not okay.
Yep.
And I just this much.
Just this much.
Just
It was
this
full.
big
Just
giant.
a tumbler.
Just 60 ounces.
I see a fly on Sonny's face.
Just
Oh my god.
my face. Is it my nose you're
Okay.
looking at?
Oh my
I'm
God.
very
No,
self-conscious, Kat.
Oh.
I was
I
stuck in
looked
a
on
I got it.
movie.
I got it. I got it.
So funny
There
that
we go.
they
Maybe my monitor's messed up. I'm going to take a picture and show you. So my post office will not be getting anything from any of us. And if we're feeling froggy, we don't give her the scan form and make her scan 50 packages if she's at the front, because my employees know as well. So yes, we're spiteful like that. But the delivery person that I love so much, and I would give her like $100, and you're not supposed to give it to them. She retired last year. Her name was Lori. She was absolutely amazing. The person who took over for her is not as nice, and he will do anything he can to not have to drive up to my house. And that includes overstuffing my mailbox where things are falling out onto the ground. And he absolutely will not get any tip from me, because we find our mail scattered because he will stuff it so full before he doesn't want to come up here. Lori would drive up here every day. She would, bring our packages. I can't imagine if I tried to get porch pickup from this dude. Like it would be a joke. And so I am not tipping my postal people on that note. As far as the thrift stores, I thrift so infrequently. There aren't any regular ones. If I had one that I was going to, like every week or a couple of times a week, I definitely would, but I don't have any that I go to that frequently. I like the idea of the making the snacks and the drinks and all of that. So maybe I'll do it, even though I know the pain in the butt one occasionally will come, because FedEx and UPS do come frequently here, mainly with bubble wrap from American Bubble Boy. It comes every other week. So yeah, it was illegal to reverse a mail card. Listen, if you're lazy, be friggin' lazy. I don't know. All right. Hey, I had that too says, I have an opportunity to run a private estate sale for a friend. Not a packed house, but still profitable. What percentage would you charge for your first one? It will be a very relaxed setup.
I have no idea what I'm gonna shoot high. 80%.
Jimmy's like, you want me to do it?
No
I'm gonna do
I'm
it.
going for the win here, folks. No, I honestly wouldn't really know. I mean, 30, 40, I don't know.
I've interviewed a lot of estate sale people, and some of my early videos on the channel were about that. I would have them on with me, and a lot of them for just a regular estate sale that doesn't have a ton of profit. The less profit there is, the higher the percentage will be. If it's a house full of money, it'll be as low as 30% and as high as 40, 45. And then some of them they will turn down just because there's no money to be made. But 30 to 40%, if this is a friend and it looks fairly easy probably also means you're not going to make a ton, but it's your time. But 30% would be on the low end of normal, I think, unless somebody else knows more than I do.
If it's for a friend, I mean,
yeah.
First, I would say
80%.
I want first pick of everything and 10% of the sales.
Oh wow. She's in for the win too. I love you. Doing a few estate sales, I've met a couple of people, and there's one person that's done it several ways. Sometimes the people of the home wants a certain amount, and one of them that I experienced with her, her talking to her friend, she just wanted $250 if possible, and
Wow.
she even questioned herself, saying, "Is that too much?" Or to just be fair with her. But that's really all she wanted, if anything. And then the other one, the lady did 50-50. But I think it was up until a point she wanted 1,000, and anything after that was all hers. So it all depends. You get to juggle it. I would say see it for yourself, because you might, if it's worth it. I've seen her do this too. She just bought everything because she wanted $500 for this other place, and it was worth thousands. So it all depends on how you want to do it. Want to work harder and deal with people, or can you knock it out yourself, and would it be worth it within a time frame that you're allowed to take stuff out?
Can I add something real quick, Kat?
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, even if it's for a friend, I would draw up some sort of simple contract. Something simple that just shows this is what we agreed to. And because it's not even for you and her, it's if there are other parties that ever get in, these things can get sticky. And I would have something, if nothing else, to protect the friendship, that this is what we're going to do, and we're going to be selling everything that's left in the house, or we're not selling, whatever the agreement is. I would put something down in writing, something simple, just to protect your friendship, because that's more important than whatever you'll make.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was going to say I would do like 30% because I feel like it would be a learning experience for me, kind of like the house clean outs that I did that I have decided I probably should not do any more of, since it's still all sitting in the garage 3 months later, or the barn. I haven't been able to get to it. I think 30%, especially if they're helping with the setup. I know a lot of it is like the pricing and the research, and hopefully you know a lot about that so you don't have a ton. But I agree with Scott. I think in any situation like that, you should have a contract. What's up, Gino, my good friend? You guys give Gino a follow, give Marsha a follow, please. Red Cardinal Treasures. They both help me so much. And it really means a lot to me. And if you guys could follow them, that would be appreciated. All right. Oh, we did that one. Okay. Alex Gray says, for Etsy pros, what's the best person or channel to learn from? I'm a top-rated seller on eBay, but Etsy feels like another planet. Please point me in the right direction before I lose my mind. Thank you.
I'm gonna point you to Scott next, because I don't know. I don't do Etsy, and I don't know who to watch. I should, and I've thought about it actually. So if you find out, let me know too, because I'm thinking about doing some Christmas and Halloween decor over there.
I've done Etsy for a long time. We don't have anything over there right now. It depends upon the things that you have, but I don't. It's not on my YouTube channel at all. I really don't know.
There you go. Coming soon.
No.
Yeah, same. I'm self-taught on Etsy, but I've never done Etsy content, and I've kind of been on a YouTube break for half of this year because life happened. I would point to me if I had the content, because I've been told by people that my tutorials are very easy to follow and I'm a very good teacher, but I haven't made a video in longer than a long time. And I don't know anyone that sells on Etsy that has a YouTube. I've learned from friends like on List Perfectly and stuff. So
I was just gonna say the comments might be the go-to on this. And there's some
comments
people
or
already-
self-plug. I do have a Facebook group, Flippin Hippos Reseller Pod, and you can join that and ask any questions you have. And there are Etsy sellers in there that can help you.
I do have one on Instagram. I don't know if she's on YouTube. I hate jumping in.
Yeah.
It's this person here.
Dylan Jaharis.
And
Did I see that?
I don't know her personally. I have, she does all Etsy, and I think she's a big seller. I also think she's selling her program. And so you got to factor that into it. I don't know if that's a deal breaker, but
I mean,
but she does Etsy. Like,
I mean, I'm okay with paying for stuff if the value is there. So yeah. Sonny, do you know anybody that's Etsy?
Oh, I thought I was invisible. No, I don't. No, I'm joking. No, I don't. I don't know anybody that I can think of. I want to say like Becky Park, but I think she's more of the Poshmark. But I will say that I see a lot of the items sell for much more that I come across on Etsy than on eBay. So I often use Etsy's numbers and not eBay's on eBay and still get that amount from Etsy. Oh, there's
Good
not.
point.
Perfect advice.
That's
Yeah.
the same thing. That's great.
Julie, I'm going to get your super chat next. I'm so sorry. Oh, here comes Dalton. Are you going to come tell everybody good night? Why do you look so grumpy?
Funny was hiding behind the fly. You couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Honey, I texted you a picture. Look at it, what I'm seeing. Come tell
I need a
everybody good
second
night.
phone. I don't have that 50 plus
so happy.
subscribers yet to get a second phone.
He looks so tired.
he looks so much older. Whoa. How old is he now?
He's 7.
Ugh,
He's so old.
good night, Dalton.
He's
can't see
challenging
you. You
Sonny
gotta
for the
get
best
closer.
hair right now. That's for sure.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
does-
He's let his hair
does
grow
have
out.
hair.
Give mommy a kiss. Good night. I love you. So the one that I am going to recommend to you also sells like a subscription based type of thing. There's a frog on the door. Okay, thank you. And he has been on the show with us before, and that is LL from Handmade and Beyond. He's a very good friend of Rod's, but he also does like personal coaching. He has his Patreon, things like that. And what I was saying before is I'm okay paying for a Patreon, paying for a group, paying for a course. If I get the value, I will pay. I don't care. I would rather pay $50 than spend 20 hours looking for something, right? That's like $2.10 an hour. If somebody's curating it into a course, I'm okay with paying for that. That's me personally. So I don't have a problem with people selling courses and things like that. So yeah, LL from Handmade and Beyond, he is primarily Etsy. The thing that I have learned for Etsy, and I think Katie mainly taught me this. If you guys do not know her, Katie Reeds is one of my really, really close friends. And that is that the keywords and hashtags matter on Etsy. And I was not doing them at all. But when I started using List Perfectly's AI Express Lister, it makes them for me. And my Etsy sales have increased since I started doing that. So I would say if you're not using AI Express Lister, make the keywords, make the hashtags, and those get you the sales. We get regular sales on Etsy now We also, like this week, I just did my what sold video. I recorded it earlier. All of the platforms, Etsy, Mercari, and Poshmark have been doing pretty decent, which is nice. eBay's still kicking everybody's butt. eBay's still a lot higher, but we've been getting regular sales on the other. And I'm super excited because LP added in Whatnot. And so now all of my new listings are also going to Whatnot. And then I'm going to make my boyfriend work, and he's going to start copying our 9,000 listings over to Whatnot. That is my plan. And because I talked to Rod and I still talk quite frequently. And Rod said he was getting more sales on Whatnot static marketplace listings than he was on Poshmark Mercari combined. To me, that's enough for me to hear to say, okay, I'm going to put the time into adding these listings onto Whatnot. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping I get at least similar.
Sorry to cut in, but I have a lot of friends that have been telling me for all year, we do so well with the static listings. And I'm like, I don't want to bother with it. But now that LP has it, just this week, I've already moved like 200 over. I'm like, well, this is easy now. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, I have a lot of friends that say they do really well with static on Whatnot. And they put their expensive stuff on the static that people, you know, because on the live shows, they won't.
They might not buy on a live sale, right? Like they're not going to buy a $300 necklace or something. So yeah, all of my listings have been going to Whatnot now since LP integrated it. I downloaded the beta version, and I'm gonna again put my boyfriend to work, and he's gonna start copying all 9,000 listings. I know it'll take a little while, but you know it'll happen. Julie, I am so sorry. I saw it and it registered, and then it like went out the window. So
that
my good friend,
that was me in the elevator. We got stuck in an elevator with Clara from Liz Perfectly.
Here comes Brooke.
Or no, not with Clara, Dana.
There's Brooke.
Oh, Sunny's on tonight.
Sonny's on every night. He's my new co-host. Where have you been?
Well, I haven't been on every night, unfortunately. But hi, Brooke.
She fired.
I did not fire her. I did not fire her. For those of you that don't know, that is my daughter, Brooke. She just got home from work, so she came out to the shed to say hello. All right, Julie says she has met everyone on the panel in person, one in an elevator. Lucky me. Question for Kat. Would you consider another reseller event? Well, would I consider it? Yes. Would I do it? I don't know. I would need Trisha's help from LP because I really broke even or lost money on the events that I did, even though I love them absolutely so much. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I would like to at least like make a little bit of money for my time that goes into like a 3-day event. And I did not. And Brooke helped a lot with that. So I would probably try and get LP to like sponsor it and give me Trish as a sponsorship. Like I get Trish as like my personal assistant. So yeah, I would consider it. I would need to figure it out with Dalton's school schedule for maybe like Thanksgiving or Christmas break, which I don't know if a lot of people would like. Maybe spring break too. Let me know in the comments. Like, think of school and when children will be out of it that you would like to do. So yeah, I would consider it. It was a lot of fun. And I still talk to people that did it. And it's been what, like 3 or 4 years now since we did it. It's been a long time since we did the events in Orlando and Tennessee. Scott, do you remember, when was Tennessee? Scott did the event in Tennessee with me that I did.
It's been at least 3 years, but time goes so quick.
Yeah.
No, it's been exactly 3 years because that was the first year I had my car, and I've had my car for 3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Scott's like, okay. All right. I'm going to give her the mermaids because I like the mermaids. Here you go, Julie.
Oh, I don't think I took mine. He's supposed to be brushing his teeth.
Okay. I love it. All right. Karen with a C says, how did you get started recognizing what was good? I need to build my skills recognizing what is good. I'm okay with jewelry, but I don't come across much.
I mean, the number one thing for me was I liked watching a lot of YouTube videos of people out picking out AR sales, a lot of picking videos. But also I watched a lot of YouTube what sold videos as well, just to get an idea what people are selling. And then early on, spent a lot of time at a sale, being that guy with his phone out, looking stuff up. I had no shame in it. And at a thrift store, standing there looking it up. And another thing, sell-through rate, it's a topic, but looking at how many of an item is listed and how many have sold, and looking at and actually analyzing sell-through rate. Maybe you don't have to use it to decide the price or whatever, but just analyzing what is actually going out the door on eBay in over 90 days or whatever can help you as well. And I mean, 6 years later, I mean, I hardly ever have to grab my phone out of my pocket. I mean, I do, but not nearly as often because of all that that I took in, and it just kind of builds over time, and you do become a better picker.
Have you seen the video that goes around where the guy is like at the Apple counter with his wife, and then she'll put one in the bag and he takes her apple out and asks her if it's any good, and then she tells him no every single time? So I started thrifting with Melody, and every single thing I brought her, she was like, no, that's not anything. So now truthfully, we would buy stuff and then we research. I'm really an old school kind of nerd, and I'm not pushy, and I'm not ever going to pull anything away from anybody, but I can outstudy them. So I would look at the sold comps. I would sort by my area and sort by highest or closest to me. And I want to look and see what are other people in my area finding. We live close to the Mars plant, so there's like a lot of Mars stuff. I'm in Dallas Cowboys area, so the Dallas Mavericks are here. So I find lots of sports stuff. I find lots of Mars M&M stuff. But looking at what's available in your area, what are other people selling in your area, and then I sort by highest. Like, okay, is there a trend here that there's something in my area that typically brings a lot of money? And so for me, I just study so that when the test shows up, I'm ready. When I go out, I feel like I'm prepared.
So because I was in the unique position of having a job one day and being disabled the next, I was sink or swim. So my boyfriend and I would go to the Benz. He's my silent partner in this business, by the way. No one's ever seen him. I made him up. So people don't know I'm a female that lives alone. But Keith and I would go to the Benz together and buy everything. And we're both nerds, and we didn't know anything about fashion or anything. So we would just go to the Benz with $100 and buy 100 pounds. And then when we had enough profit turning from that, we're lucky enough where we live, all of our thrift stores, every single one has a day that things are 99 cents. So we would start going to those and we would just buy everything. And when we got it home, we sorted it into what we called poop, bread and butter, and bolo. And we learned not to ever grab the poop again. Bread and butter's okay if you can get it for $1. And then the bolos were bolos. And we started creating spreadsheets, which turned into guides eventually that I sold for a while. But we were keeping spreadsheets of our own with sell-through rates and the average sale price and the brands, and they were color-coded by poop, bread and butter, and bolo. And we would have those on our phones. But after 8 years of selling the same things over and over and over and over, I just know. And now I buy everything mostly wholesale shipped to my house. Can I real quick tell Karen with a C who my jewelry dealer is? And your whole place of people? I'm not affiliated, so I don't make any money if you use my code. But if people use my code, she'll keep the code active on Etsy, and I too can participate in the 20% off. So her name is Whistle Pig Market, and she sells costume jewelry by the pound and gold and silver, like real jewelry. All caps HIPPO. You can get 20% off, and I don't get anything from that except I get to use the code too.
I like that. I think if I was to start all over again, because I had no idea what thrifting and reselling was when I started. It was just the means of me trying to find a supplement an income when I didn't have one to find a job here in Vegas, moving from Hawaii. If I was to start overs, I would say I would probably start at an antique mall to where I could physically see something, see what their prices are, and look online to compare, are they right or are they not? Because there's a lot of things what I see online, even to this day, with my experience, that some like a lamp I thought was only so big, and when I found it on say Facebook Marketplace, it was 2 times bigger. So sometimes the photos don't help you gauge what an item is for the space that I have right now, if I could get it or not. And then if it's not antique malls, I would go into like knickknacks when they have their glass sales specifically, where all these different sellers are on knickknacks, and you could just sit there and learn and be part of the chat just like you're doing here. And auctions are different, but there's reasons why people are bidding more for items than others. The common stuff, the rare stuff, the unique stuff, and you can learn a lot. And that's actually one thing I started with on Whatnot with Kat when I started getting into jewelry, when Kat was doing it. She mentioned that the last time, if she was to go on there, she would probably confuse people in the last show. So it's good to follow up with those people that often have these items. And plus, I tell people all the time, message them directly, and hopefully they do answer. But majority of people do answer. And don't get offended if they don't. There's things happening in their lives, but there's a variety of people, countless people out there that you can learn from. You just have to be willing to do more than just look on the monitor. You have to be part of it and ask a question and see where, if you could find, say on YouTube, an email underneath the video, and see if they have an email that you could reach out to get a hold of them.
Yeah, and so I think the biggest thing. Oh, why am I echoing?
Not to us.
Who did that? The biggest thing is for me stuff that catches my eye, whether it's stuff that I like, whether it's stuff that I might have seen in a what sold video, or when I was making a research video. That's the biggest thing for me. And I think that what you like in conjunction with what sells well, and a lot of times they're not going to overlap. Unfortunately, you might like stuff and it doesn't sell. But if something catches your eye, look it up. That's my biggest thing. And if there's no signal in the thrift store, take a picture of it. Look it up when you get outside, or even when you get home, so that you know if that item is worth or was worth picking up. And I'm still continually learning. Like, that's why I do the research videos, because there is so much stuff that is worth money that none of us know. Like, none of us can know everything. Guaranteed, there is going to be something that is $1 that you're like, that is the cheapest thing ever, and it's worth $500. And you're like, I don't want that thing. There's always new stuff. And I think the biggest thing is learning and recognizing that the learning in this business never ends. You can never know everything. The market is changing. What is popular, what is selling now is going to change day by day by day. And jewelry, I never come across jewelry at the thrift store. Not never, very, very rarely. But I buy my jewelry from online estate auctions. Like Starr said, she has her seller she buys from on Etsy. I have several online high bid auctions that I buy from very, very regularly. They know they know me very well. I went and picked up from one today down south. And if you have something that you like I like my kachinas. I think everybody knows that. I love Native American. Native American is not popular in the Southeast. It is popular in the Southwest, like Las Vegas and Phoenix, but it is not in Florida. So I will source online. Am I paying a little bit extra? Am I paying a lot of money for shipping? Yeah, I am. But that's something I love. It's something that I am still continually learning about. And it's going to change. That's the bad thing. You know, some stuff that sold well 3 years ago is not selling at all anymore. And there's stuff that you couldn't give away 3 years ago that's very, very popular now. So you need to continually be learning. I unfortunately don't have enough time to watch what sold videos, to watch really any videos, to be honest with you guys. But I make them and make my research videos, so I learn while I'm doing that, which is the nice thing. I'm working and I'm learning at the same time, because I told my boyfriend this earlier, because he flips as well. He buys and resells. And I'm like, the first minute that you think you know everything about it, you're going to get slapped in the face with reality. You know, when you think you know everything, you think you know what this is worth, you think this is going to sell really quick, it's not. So don't get overconfident in anything. Like anything can change. That's one of the biggest things for me. All right, I got to pick something. I haven't done the whale. Here's the whale. Here you go.
Well,
I can't do super chats.
done.
Hold on. One more try. Okay. Let's see. What are we doing? Vintage Saver wants to know, is anyone using the price adjust feature in the seller hub? If yes, is it bringing in more sales?
I am not.
Are you referring to the where it automatically marks it down occasionally? If so,
I think that's
no.
what they mean.
Yeah, where it brings it down. If it's no, because I have a lot of long tail items. The thing that just sold, the stirrups, they, like I said, they've been listed several months, and I knew they would sell. I'm waiting for the right buyer.
I seem to remember early on. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I'm just saying, for the stuff I sell, it wouldn't. If that's what they're referring to, that would not. Oh, not auto markdown. Okay. Well, evidently I'm not using it.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, that was something that they pushed when I was new to eBay. They pushed that really hard, and then as my store grew and I was there longer, they stopped pushing that to me, like showing it to me all the time. That's the only thing I can think of as well, Scott.
I'm not sure I know what it is, and that makes me feel bad.
I clearly don't know what it is either. I thought it was what you thought it was, and my answer was going to be, I never let anyone but myself determine what my prices are, or when they come down.
Yeah, I don't use it for that reason. I like to be in control of my prices, and if somebody wants a better price, although my items on eBay are all open to offers, I still get the private messages for the one or twosies that I decide I want that set price without offers. And most of the time they sell either way.
They clarified it in the messages.
Yeah.
It says, I have a message. I have a message at the top of my seller hub saying that some of my prices are too high. Well, don't buy it.
I responded with, "Oh, those are lies. They're lying."
Yeah, that's the thing I was talking about that they pushed to me early on. They pushed that at me a lot early on. It slowly went away over time.
Ignore them.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
do that.
Here's the thing to remember about eBay. And I love eBay. If you watch my YouTube, my whole channel is about eBay. But here's the thing. eBay doesn't care how much you make because they're doing the bulk game. They want everybody to sell everything, even if it's at a stupid cheap price, because they're going to get the same percentage overall. So no, don't let eBay decide. You'd be better off to stop and let anybody on the panel and say, what should I put this at? You'd be better off with any one of us than you would be for eBay. eBay will underprice it every time.
They will. Mercari's the same way. Like, oh, you're going to have a slow sale because I have this nice Louis Vuitton bag at $300 and you're saying I should price it at $42. No. And that's like the one thing I have not let go of control in my business. Nobody prices things but me. None of my employees price things. I don't care who it is. I am the only one, because I might have some random ridiculous thing that's worth $300 and they're like, oh, it's worth $20. I'm the only one with that knowledge. That is one thing I cannot let go of control over. And I have to price everything. And that's why I'm 500 listings behind my employee right now. It's because I'm the only one that can do that. If I did like jeans or shirts where it was like, we could make like a master price list, like this brand, this size is this amount, you know, and kind of adjust that as it goes. But I don't do stuff like that. I do one-off stuff. And I cannot let go of the pricing concept at all.
Yeah, 100% agree.
All right. Karen wants to know, after a customer purchases an item and you ship, do you use the send coupons to buyers to encourage repeat sales? And if you have, has it worked?
I've I've only tried it once in the past. I didn't see a lot of results, but I didn't put a lot of effort into it. But I'm gonna be stealing Star's idea. No, I think Starr just kind of told us that it does work, and I definitely have friends out there in the YouTube verse that do this that have had a lot of success. I just haven't put the effort into it. I run a discount on my store. That's the main thing I do is I run discounts based on how long the item has been listed. It gets and I do like a step down. If it's been listed X amount of time, then it goes on a further discount, a further discount. That's how I do it.
I hate to say it. I think it's a tremendous feature that I don't use. And I probably should. I'm probably going to add it to my feedback system. I had that idea myself tonight, totally on my own.
All by yourself.
What I'm going to do.
That's a great idea, Scott. I'm telling you.
So I do every Friday. I sit down to set up my sales for the next week. I run sales 24 hours a day around the clock. I price my items for easy math. If I want $20 for a pair of jeans, I price it at $24.99. That way I know I can run 20% all week and put it at $19.99. Because sales give you boosts in the searches. So I sit down every Friday and I stop and start my promoted listings. Someone told me that helps. It doesn't hurt. So I'm going to keep doing it. It takes me 2 seconds. I set my sales up. And while I'm doing that, I send coupons every Friday and I do get repeat buyers. Now they tell us. Now they have that nice thing. And I see repeat buyers every day in my orders. And I also would highly recommend y'all doing the newsletters. They have one you can set up automated. So you don't have to sit and create a newsletter every week. They have one you can set on automation for every 2 weeks to go out to your previous buyers, people who've liked your stuff. You choose who it goes to and you choose what they get, but you can send a coupon with that and then like a panel of your newest listings every 2 weeks on Friday.
I usually don't do the coupons unless it's for repeat buyers. I forget the option. There's like 2 different options, I think. And I do that every once in a while, but like Starr, I don't do it every day. When I remember to do it, I'll do it for like 3 days at a time. And I usually run that for like 2 to 3 months. And then by that time I forget. And so it gets brought up, like Starr talking about it in the panel. So it was like, oh, I should do this again to get some stuff rolling. And it usually helps. But one thing I want to bring back that Starr said is that she prices just a little above to still get her goal. Because you may hear from other people saying, oh, these sell for 20. But I'm giving a discount. You're not getting a 20, you're getting less than that. So you want to price it just a little bit higher to get whatever your goal is. So just had to bring up what Starr said because I thought that was a good point.
Yeah, I've used the coupons a couple times, not a lot, but I think I'm going to try and do Starr's idea. I'm going to punch him. I'm going to.
That was Starr's idea?
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Anyways, I'm gonna, now you saw his hand. I'm gonna steal that, I think. I've tried the coupons a couple times. I don't think it really worked for me, but I figure with the feedback thing, I'm doing it anyways. I just need to change what that automated feedback says. So I don't see where that would be detrimental. I think that would be helpful. And I'm going to try that for sure. So I haven't overly tried it. I tried the newsletter a couple times, but I never remembered to track the progress of it. My good friend, Mark, OG, and Z is in the chat. I didn't look. Is it 9/11? Let me look. It is 9/11. He always gets here at 9/11. And he likes Rod. So here's Rod.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
I can do it. He's not here. Everybody do it.
Oh, sorry.
Good job.
Speaking of Rod, great man. Got to meet him in person a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
But I was over on their Didbits, their card one. They got so many now, like 1 million of them, trying to monopolize district. But I ended up buying a mystery pack off of them that they call breaks, I think. I paid $10. I ended up getting this signed autograph card that's valued like at $500. I was like, I don't know what it is, but cool. And he was freaking out, and I was like, this must be good. So $10
This
for
must be
one
great.
card is going to give me around 500 doll hairs, but I'm going to save it.
Doll hairs.
Nice.
Doll hair.
I'd say that too.
I heard about that, Sonny. Heck yeah. Wasn't it like a Tim Allen or something like that? Was that Buzz Lightyear? Or
Yeah,
something?
Tim Allen.
All right. The Vintage Saver wants to know, is there a way to set the eBay shipping so the buyer can choose the shipping option they want?
Like as far as the service and everything like that, I mean, you can set it up. I know that I do too. I give them 2 options. I don't know if you can offer more than that. I don't know if you set up business policies. I have never really messed with that. I usually give them 2 options to choose from, like one that's cheaper and then one that's faster. So USPS Ground Advantage or USPS Priority Mail. That's so they have on my store. They can choose from those 2. I don't know if there's like a business policy you can set up where they can choose from more. I don't know.
Yeah, I think most people do exactly what Jimmy's doing. I don't offer it a lot, especially when somebody wants a different service. Because of where I live, it's a drive to go anywhere else because FedEx won't come out here. As nice as my USPS people are, my FedEx person hates me. And I don't even know why. Like they're so aggravated every time they come out here. UPS is wonderful, but it's harder to make sure I get it picked up on time. So for me, it's really not, it doesn't work. If somebody chose UPS and I got to drive to West, it's for me, it's like 40 minutes round trip. And that's, I don't offer them because of that.
And real quick, it's when you're doing the listing, you can add an additional, to answer the question a little bit better, you can select add additional options and then you can add a second shipping option for your buyer right there when you're doing the listing. That's the one I do. I do it right when I list on my phone right when I'm listing on my phone. I don't use a cross lister. I don't know if cross listers have those that you can set up in there. Maybe someone else can answer that as far as you can set that up within a cross posting service. I don't know, because I just list right there on eBay and you can just add it right there.
So you can do it with business policies, and you can have more than 2. Often going into Q4, we always offer ground and priority, like you said. Yep. But going into Q4, we'll add express on some of our more giftier or expensive items because people always leave shopping to the last minute, and sometimes they'll choose that. And with List Perfectly, you can, with that cross lister, that's the only one I've ever used. I've been with them since 2019, so I can't speak for anyone else, but when you cross post with List Perfectly, it actually opens up an eBay tab, and you go through like you would normally go on a listing straight from eBay. But you can have 3, 4. You can do whatever you want, and I recommend doing as many as you want in the holidays because people get crazy and they want stuff fast, and they will pay for it.
Some will probably even message you saying, "How can I get it here faster? I'll pay for it," telling you in advance. Which doesn't always happen because sometimes you get the purchase come in and then they'll ask you, can you send it faster? How can I pay you to get it faster? And I'm like, oh my gosh. But over on eBay, another thing to go with Starr to add to the eBay panel, when you open it up, dimensions and weight and all, sometimes I end up changing, say, UPS ground to USPS priority because it's still within the same days, if not faster. Because it comes out less. So it doesn't mean because it's that order. It could be a different variety of ways. But I always like to look at what the other options are. So that way I update myself every time I have an order. Unless I'm getting multiples a day, then that's just too much. But I just like to see what the difference is on the shipping costs. And they usually don't have a problem. But sometimes I do get people that are about to buy something and they're saying, I don't get, say, FedEx in my area, can you ship it this or a different method? So that way they get the item. There's no issue.
Yeah, so I have mine all set on ground and priority. The only time I switch it and put the express is if a customer asks, and then I will go add the express as an option. I haven't done it to all of them. I think probably like twice in the last year somebody wanted to pay because like a 1 to 2 pound rate is $50 overnight. It's super expensive to get it, and people will pay it, but I haven't added it. I just do ground and priority, and that's on all of my listings, and then they can choose whichever one that they want. Ping, hi friend. Ping wants to know, is anyone using a document camera for their listing? She's using using V500 and it's worked great for 6 straight days, but now a mouse click to save no longer works. And I think what she means is like if you're doing like postcards or ephemera and you're able to like feed the postcards into it and make the listings out of that. I think that's what she's referring to.
I wish I wish I could help. I don't use anything like that, and I really have no answer at all.
You know, for me, I've used a document camera, a scanner, basically before for listing cards and things like that. But for me, I have the same problem, Ping G. I don't have an answer for you. It's a struggle bus full of me everywhere that one goes. So I don't have an answer.
I've never used one either.
I'm looking it up now because I know she asked that before, and I was looking at some videos, and a lot of people were having, from what I remember, they were also having issues at some time. What I was thinking of when you brought this up, Benji, was what Kat just mentioned was the scanners, and I know Carrie, American Arbitrage, has one that he uses for his cards. And that's one where like it looks like it's going to count money, but it's for cards or stock cards. And I ended up finding one for a lot less than what I've seen some of the ones like you mentioned, because some of those could be like hundreds. And what Pinji's using, these are like really good cameras to pick up details. And when you're looking at cards and stuff like that for collectors, especially valuable ones, you definitely want that rather than an iPhone that's may not be the best for certain things because of the vibrancy of the colors.
Yeah, and I haven't used one. I haven't been doing a ton of ephemera. I used to do a lot of it, but the thing I learned with ephemera lots is like 90% of it's worth under $10, and you find like the rare occasional valuable ones. So I haven't been buying a ton of ephemera lots. My good friend Drew sent a $1.99 super chat. I haven't played it today. I have to play my swimming with the alligator super chat thanks to Gino. So here you go. I have had to be responsible, heaven forbid, in the last couple weeks. And I am still going to the gym every morning, but I cut out swimming because I'm so behind on listings. And that's more of like a relaxing thing for me. And so I have cut that out here in the last couple weeks. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to it. But when I'm 500 behind my employees, I feel like my responsibility is to come home and list, not go enjoy the springs. So it sucks, but I have cut out swimming in the springs for now. Queen Heart wants to know, do you have separate cell phones for your business?
I never did until just recently because I do live sales on Dibdit through the district app, and the iPhone I had to get I usually have an Android, and right now that kind of thing is not supported on district with the Android, so I had to get an iPhone so I can do the live auctions over there, and it's been great. I'm glad I did it. I'm doing awesome over there, and it's every Monday night if you guys are ever checking it out. Yeah, it's so I now have a second iPhone for that, and that only though.
Yeah, we keep an extra phone here just for taking pictures. Now, I use my phone when I'm out in the wild doing things. And as far as like, if I'm at a storage locker or something like that, I set up a camera, not my phone. I record videos with a camera, not my phone.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Succinct. No.
I want, the answer for me is no, but I want a second phone because with the things that I am doing reselling online, I need that option to control things and take photos, even if it's like just going live on TikTok, for me to be working at the same time. I don't know who I remember this from, but it was from Whatnot, and it was another reseller, and they're saying you should always Like when you're working, you should always have money in your hands that's moving. And me talking on the phone, only having one phone, puts me static. Like I give information that could be valuable or just be entertaining, catching up with people. But I am seeing that it would benefit me a lot having a second phone with everything that my family is going through right now. I just got a bill for $5,000 and they did 2 of those surgeries and then a major surgery after that. So I know I'm like, forget about that cell phone. I need to take care of other things. But in no time, like anything else, when I set a goal, I'll get there and I'll get my second phone soon enough.
So we actually have 2 extra phones, and
Nice.
they are both iPhones. Shannon uses one for live selling, but she took off last week. She hasn't been in this week, so that phone is here. The nice thing is, though, like the one that Chrissy uses, which is my full-time employee. So today, I don't know here without. So do you see all that? That's all Halloween stuff that I picked up on auction today in South Florida. And I said, look, I want the Halloween stuff up today. And I'm normally OCD about going in order the way that it was listed, but I'm going to go backwards to get that Halloween stuff up because we're so close to Halloween. And so I told her I wanted the Halloween stuff listed. And she's like, do you care if I bring the work phone home? I'll list it at home. Like I need to leave. I don't mind listing it at home. And I told her, no, that's fine. So like she called me earlier and she's like, okay, they're all listed. So it's nice to have that extra phone where she took it home. Shannon would take it home to schedule whatnot sales because those aren't phones that I depend on. I have my own. And when I'm doing comps and stuff, I do use my personal phone. But we have 2. We have one for live sales and we have one that we use for listing on List Perfectly. So for the static eBay. And I actually got both of them through Amazon, and it's a monthly fee because it has a plan. So it has its own signal, and I want to say it's like $60 a month or something, but I can get the new iPhone every time it comes out. That's included. And in my experience, the biggest thing with the newer models of phones is a better camera. And I think as a reseller, having the newest model is definitely beneficial. And so, yeah, so it's nice. We have the 2. I went to grab it and I'm like, oh, she took it home to show you. I am an Android person myself, but for work, I purchased iPhones because of what Jimmy was saying, like on District, on whatnot. There are so many more features for iPhone. I am not an iPhone person. I will never be an iPhone person. I'm an Android person. But for the business, there are so many apps that are available on Apple that are not available on Android. It just, to me, makes more sense to have an Apple phone for the work phones.
I admit, when I had an Android for one of my semesters in college, the camera and the photography on there, chef's kiss. But iPhone switching back over, it is not the same. It is like a downgrade to their technology when it comes to videography and photos.
All right.
Auction or
Michelle
buy it
wants
now?
to know auction or buy it now for vintage Christmas.
I only do buy it now. I don't remember the last time I ran an auction on anything. It's hard for me because a lot of times when I'm looking up pricing and doing my comp work, I see sold auctions and I'm like, what were they like? Oh, like, what were you doing there? So I think it had to be a super rare collectible item. And the big thing, like, it's hard to know, but like if you know something's rare and collectible and you know that the collectors are not going to let this thing slip through the cracks, that's the only time I run an auction. If I know that there's a lot of collectors collecting that kind of item and there's no way they're going to let it slip through the cracks, then I will consider an auction. But other than that, myself, I'm not doing an auction.
100%. So like, I feel exactly like Jimmy. The last big auction I had, it's been a couple of years ago. It was for a world or a military jacket, and I had the only one that had been for sale in like the last 15 years. The Mitchell pattern M65. They didn't exist anymore because they were only made by the Japanese as a test pattern for the military. And so some guys got them and it never got made in production. And so something like that, everybody who is chasing those has that search saved.
Yes.
And there aren't any for sale. And when it comes up, you're not going to have, 5 people watching it. You're going to have 100 people watching it by the end of the day. And the other thing about it, I don't think Jimmy said it, I also have to not know how high something can go. If I already know this is worth $500 to $700, I'm going to put 750 or best offer.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in me running an auction if I know it's not going to climb above this. With that Mitchell jacket, I didn't know. I think on a different day, I think it only sold for $1,280, and I think on a different day it could have sold for $5,000. But I didn't know how high it would go. So it's not just that there aren't any available and it's super sought after. You also have to not know what the ceiling is, and you just start the bidding at your floor. That's what I do.
I agree with everything everyone said. Sometimes I'll use auctions to clearance items on eBay. I run them at like 50% off plus shipping. I never go, this is my advice, never go lower than what you're willing to accept. So don't start your auction lower than what you're willing to accept. But if I'm trying to clearance out old things, I might put them at maybe even a couple bucks plus shipping, and I make some on shipping too, just to get rid of it. But when something's new and I want the most money for it, if I know what it's worth, I price it higher. And like even on my live shows, live sales, I just do buy it now.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of auctions.
I used to do auctions, and one thing I used in the description, as well as my static ones, buy it now stuff, I would put this message saying I have other similar items like this. So this could go with Christmas. I have other Christmas items listed, and what would happen sometimes that I would get private messages saying, what are the other options? I'm having trouble finding it. And for some people, eBay's easy and they know how to look at things. So I would just go in there, get in my store, get the link, and then message them back. And sure enough, most of the time they would buy things like that. So that's one of the little type of tidbits that I would use when I do listing items in auctions that are multiple things. Even if it's not the same but similar, like Christmas stuff, that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, and I think it really depends on the item. Like everybody was saying, if it's the only one or maybe there's one or two available, I would do an auction. However, 90% of things I'm going to do, probably 99% of things I'm going to do buy it now. I actually have one auction up now, and that is a watch. It's a vintage watch. And I saw some comps as high as like $700. And I'm like, eh. And I did not pay much. I paid like $5. So I started the watch at $99. And I actually already have a bid, and it doesn't end until Sunday. So like, I'm happy. If I get no more bids, I got 99 bucks for it. I paid $5. But I saw buy it now is as high as 700. And I'm like, like I don't want to price too low. I don't want to price too high. I don't have much invested. I'm going to let it go. My vintage Christmas, and I have a lot, mainly like your shiny bright ornaments, things like that. Those are all buy it now, because I typically can find something close to the design, like the double indent sell for more. I sold a box of double indent shiny brights for $115 on Mercari a couple of weeks ago. But then I've also sold shiny brights for like $39.99. But you're able to find similar items to know where to price it. And I think the majority of people don't want to wait. So unless you have the only one, they're going to go buy it somewhere else. Like me personally, I'll pay an extra $5 to buy it now and get it shipped, rather than waiting 5 or 7 days for an item. All right, I got to put it up here. My good friend Sarah Sells Smalls gifted 5 memberships. What do we have going on? We had live shipping yesterday. We have member store reviews on Thursday. We have live sourcing tomorrow. So there's a lot going on with the membership this week. It's the second week of the month, which is the busiest week as far as when I do extra lives for you guys. So now is the time to join for sure. And I get to play my turtle. Here's my turtle. Dun, 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 dun. That's one of my favorite ones. All right, let's see. Teresa says, Kat, am I allowed to have you check out my store the next time you do, even though you have already? The answer is yes. If you guys do the $1.99 membership, I am fine checking out your store every month and we can see like what progress. Do not expect me to remember what you were doing the month before. That's all I ask, because I do so many of them. But you're allowed to sign up every month. If you guys don't know, the $1.99, which is my lowest membership, once a month I do store reviews. The last time we did them in September, I had like nothing to say about anybody, because if you pay attention, there's nothing. And that's how last month went. I'm like, yeah, I got nothing for you. And that was on repeat the whole night. Like everybody was doing excellent and I really had no advice for them. So that does happen. And it's nice when that happens, you know, because people are listening, they're watching the past store reviews and they're paying attention. But yes, you are more than welcome. And if you have specific questions, you can ask me. I'm late. I will post tomorrow for the live sourcing as well as the store reviews for you guys to sign up. So both of those are coming up the next 2 days. All right. Linda wants to know costume jewelry without a maker's mark. Since you can't put a maker in the title, do you think there are certain subjects that sell best, like flowers, cats, dogs, birds, etc.?
I don't do a lot of jewelry, so I'm not going to be any help.
No, I think well, first, yes, I think that putting those things in helps, but the keywords for the jewelry are key to getting them sold, and sometimes more important than the maker's mark. A lot of people are looking for specific things more than they're looking for just one specific maker. So if it's sterling, you got to put that in there, and then I'd probably put 925, and then you got to be careful when you start saying it's Native American if you don't have proof of that. But if it's not marked, the keywords are what's going to get it sold.
So yeah, I would agree. I don't do any sterling silver, or I mean, I might do. I can't even think of the term I want. Never mind. So there's stainless steel. Stainless steel, is that what I'm thinking of? Sometimes I get that. I find that pieces that are retro looking, like the big old honkin', I call them honkin' chonkins, the big chunky 70s retro pieces, Southwest, that's what I put. To be careful of Native American, I'll put Southwest. And then on the drop down menu on eBay in theme, you can choose ethnic. So I do that. I think retro, even the 50s and 60s, I think anything that looks vintage or retro is very popular right now. But so are very minimalistic, very simple classic pieces. It's like either end of the spectrum, either really busy, big, ugly, or simple classic pieces do really well.
I like type of atomic jewelry when it comes to rhinestones or full pearls. If I could get pearls, that would be awesome. So atomic, I like enamel stuff from floral brooches and AB type of necklaces, and that could be dangling jewelry. And if you don't know what AB means, it's Areola Borealis, right, Kat?
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah, that's
use yours, Sonny. It might still test, but that's just me.
So I like to look for that stuff as in the jewelry. But those are
Jimmy's a
usually the
little
ones that I
uncomfortable
do.
right now, I think.
Those are usually, I'm going to be putting a timeout. I'm usually going to do find those, and they usually do very well, regardless of what platform I jump on and flip them. I thought y'all would wake up from that one.
So what keywords
Jimmy
do you use, Sonny?
definitely woke up.
I just use
I
letters.
just want to see that necklace that you're talking about.
I just use AB. All right, AB.
Pearl necklace.
AB.
That turned so red. Too.
Oh,
Leave me alone.
No.
Oh, did y'all see
I
that
think
fly?
so.
Just saw the fly.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. Flowers are super, super common. I still pick up flower pieces, but they're super common. I think that like the cats, dogs, and birds, especially if it's a particular type that you can identify, like Phoenix stuff does very well. Scotty stuff, any of like the Irish setter or hunting dogs, that stuff's going to do very well. Scott showing you a rose. That's
How would
super
you-
common though. That's
But it's
super
sterling.
common.
Look, mosaic.
Why
Mosaic
does,
is a
why
good
does
word.
everybody
Oh yeah,
know
mosaic.
now?
Yeah.
See, I know
Yeah,
something.
micro mosaic does very well, but your keywords definitely are what sells it. So anything that's going to describe it that somebody might search for, that's what's going to sell that piece of jewelry. And but flowers are going to be your most common. So like specific cats or dogs are gonna do better in birds than flowers, in my opinion. All right. Renea says, what do resellers do about healthcare insurance? And I will be right back.
Lots of band-aids. Just go down to the buy a lot of band-aids. And yeah, I mean, you just kind of, I mean, my wife works full-time, so we go through her work. But I mean, when we first moved here to Ohio, we both tried going full-time, so we had to, you know, go down to the office and pay, you know, someone, I don't know, there was a guy that we talked to, and he told us our options and what they cost, and I mean, and we paid for it out of pocket. I mean, that's what we did.
So I'm in a unique situation because I'm a retired educator and I have Texas insurance. It's awful, but I have it, so I'm able to, and it's super expensive. For Melody and I, it's like $800 a month, and it covers nothing. So I should just have him roll me off into the creek behind the house when I'm gone and just say he's not here. I don't know. Like,
Well, I went out and found a vampire, and I just became immortal.
That's a
So
good idea.
my wounds heal themselves. If you've ever seen like True Blood, they just go. No, I'm kidding. Pennsylvania, fortunately, has like their own marketplace that's like separate from the federal. So if you're a Pennsylvania resident, you go in, you tell them how much you make, you prove it with tax returns, and it's a sliding scale. So if you make $150,000 a year, you're going to pay more than someone who makes $20,000, and you can be self-employed or work at McDonald's. It doesn't matter. Any Pennsylvania resident can go on there, and you just show how much you make, and it's sliding scale. And I think that's great for our residents here, but I don't know of any other states that really have. Florida had it, but Florida sucked. It was like $1 million a month plus $50 million copays.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Sounds like categories.
Like I'm still paying my hospital bill from 5 years ago.
Fortunately, serving this country, I was able to get retirement. So my VA covers me up to a certain part, but because of my wife's insurance so much better, they always go with her insurance. So that was one of the biggest things I thought about when I went full time to be a reseller, because I didn't have what I have now from the VA. And I was making sure the money that I got would be towards saving as well, not just for items to recycle and reinvest. I was like, what if something happens? I've never broken a bone in my body until I ended up leaving my job, and I ended up breaking my wrist on the job and ended up getting like a huge payment, and that went straight to my wife's pocket. I was like, take it, because I'll just spend it all. Wait, hold on, give me at least $300 from all these thousands of doll hairs, and reinvested that. But that's very important to know about if you're thinking about, is it worth me going full time? But if you know you're in need of often having medical help or assistance, is it going to make up for leaving your job? Like, sometimes the things we want isn't the way we need to do it. But if it makes your life easier to still be involved in a job, as long as you're not miserable and happy, just know there's other options. But when I started, I was making more money as a part-time reseller than I was as a full-time reseller. And I say this all the time because there's so much effort that goes into having a home, or even renting, what's involved of keeping up with cleaning alone. So know your goal of what you need to have. I think that's an important thing, that when people start reselling, they just say, I'm going to go and resell and find stuff and make money like other people. But what is your goal? What is your living expenses? And you want to know that and always reach over it. So that way you're not stressing just to find a minimum. You have to be realistic about it. And if I could do it, as much as struggles I have in my life, anybody could do this. You just have to be willing to do it for yourself.
Yeah, so I pay a lot. I pay over $1,000 a month, and my copay is absolutely stupid ridiculous. And if you guys missed it back in February, I had to have my gallbladder removed, and my copay was over $8,000. So I'm paying basically a car loan for my copay for my gallbladder surgery for the next 3 years, which is the max they would finance it out. Luckily, no interest. But like the dental doesn't even cover my dentist. I haven't been able to find a dentist, but it covers Dalton's. So that was what was important to me, was that it covered Dalton's, because technically he's more likely to need dental work than I am. So like I even pay out of pocket for my cleanings, my x-rays, everything, because I haven't found a dentist that accepts it for me, but they accept it for Dalton. And Brooke hasn't either. So yeah, we pay a lot. And then the crazy thing is, like, when I went through my divorce, I took my ex-husband off of it. It went down by like $90, and then the new rates came out and it was even more. So even without the extra person, I'm still paying as much. And really, like, I can look. It's absolutely crazy. I think my max out of pocket is like $9,200.
Wow.
And I am very, very close to that. I think it says it on here. It's really ridiculous. So if I happen to need more stuff, I'm like $1,000 away from everything being free for the last 2 months of the year. So if I happen to need a surgery, I better hurry up, because then it's going to reset. And I don't know if it sucks, because even as a nurse, like, to me, health insurance is so complicated. Like, I'm looking at all the different plans, and there were plans that were not with Blue Cross Blue Shield, but I know the name. So I'm like, oh, I'll pay $1,000 instead of $500 because I know the name Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I might have been better off to do the not no name, but the name that I didn't know, and only pay $500 a month, and the copays might have been the same. So I think we're coming up on open enrollment in October. I really, and if anybody knows somebody, I need somebody that knows this stuff, and I don't. I don't know like what plan I need, and I'm overall healthy, so I normally go once or twice a year to the doctor, but then I had an emergency gallbladder removal and I didn't plan on that. I haven't been in the hospital for surgery other than having children in the last 20 years. That was not expected. But like, if I went and said, oh, give me assistance, they'd laugh at me with my income. They'd be like, yeah, no. So instead I'm paying a car note on my lack of gallbladder. So it definitely is a difficult thing, but I wouldn't, like, for me, I wouldn't let that make me be miserable, for the fear of that. That's the thing for me. I'm figuring it out. I think I'm paying like $300 a month, and it just is what it is. Well, Blue Cross Blue Shield didn't want to pay much with they did. I think it was like a $70,000 surgery. I owed $8,000. So, in reality, yeah, I paid, 10-12% of what it would have been, but still, for your average person, like, an extra $300 a month is going to be detrimental. But the nice thing with reselling, like, you can list more, you can sell more, you can figure it out. That's my personal opinion. You can figure it out.
Yep. You can always add more platforms, more items, more categories. You can start selling on Whatnot. You can get an OnlyFans. All those things.
My OnlyFans is struggling.
I got a quick question on this. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Jimmy. You're in the hot seat.
Do you, because I don't do this, but I want to know, can you do coupons without having a store? Like, to run a percentage off sale, you have to have a store, right?
I believe
so.
coupons and newsletters are stored. It's
You have to have a store as well to do the coupon?
Yeah.
That's what I was curious.
I think
if
this
you
is
don't
for
have
stock.
a store, I think you should. I tell people this all the time. Even the lowest one is going to be worth the supplies you get and the ability to run your sales and everything else that you get with it. That's for everybody out there that's listening. If you don't have a store, you are doing yourself a disservice. You can get free supplies and run sales, and that's worth it. For what is the lowest one? Like $5?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
$10, I thought. $9.99.
I could be thinking
don't-
LP. No, LP's lowest is 20.
It's $5 now.
Oh, nice. So LJ wants to know, Starr, do you do sales during the coupon time frame? You're always doing a coupon. So
I do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm wacky. I do the coupon code in the automated feedback. And then from Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern until Sunday, midnight Eastern, every single weekend, I do a coupon. Buy any 2 or more items in my store and you get 50% off. And then I always have the percentage off. I do the shipping discount, but that one I do categories only. So it's only, I do flat $7 on comics and jewelry because those, and remote controls, because they can buy like 3 and you're still paying $4 for a label. I think that's everything. I run all the things all the time because I pay $1 or less for most of my inventory. So I just want to flip and burn it. If I can sell 5 pairs of jeans and they get a discount, well, I sold 5 things. I don't care. I paid $1. I paid $5.
I'm the same way. I'm on quantity versus quality. Like I'm trying to do like
I'm a
the number
volume-based
of-
business. I have
Yeah,
very
yeah,
low
so-
cost of goods. I'm really fast at listing. I'm fast at taking photos. I use LP's AI. I have 21 days scheduled out on eBay ahead of time, all the time. I have 300 extra listings in my List Perfectly catalog that I just push 10 out each morning on that 21st day, and I'm always set.
Wow.
It's churn and burn,
do-
churn and burn.
That's impressive.
All right.
No, I don't.
It
I
is.
don't add a coupon over to sales. I usually do one or the other. I don't like to stack them, but that's just me.
I might start stacking them.
It
Why
depends
not?
on your business model too. Like I have a
Mhm.
bunch of American Eagle jeans that I sell for $20 that I paid $1 for. I don't care.
Well, I
Yeah,
will say
I have a lot
that
of
does make a
dollar
difference for me when I do the bins. When I'm getting stuff for less than $1 and there's multiple items, like I do have a bigger difference of stacking things. But I haven't been to the bins in forever. I want to go, but it's around 40 minutes other side of Vegas where I'm at.
All right. Windancer wants to know if you have a dish to list and could only fit some of the description, what words would you use? So she's saying her title like extended and she has to cut some of this out. Is vintage pink depression glass, candy nut, trinket dish, lid, hearts, roses, fleur-de-lis, and diamonds. So what would you take out as a seller? That's a fun question.
I would
That's a
take
good
out
question.
the first word would be I would take out nut. I would go candy trinket dish. And what is the fleur de lis? I don't know. That would probably that
Fleur-de-lis
for
is
me.
really popular.
It's a
That's a New
design.
Orleans thing. That's a New
Okay.
Orleans. The fleur-de-lis is popular.
Yeah, maybe pink because you have roses later on, but I don't know. It's still tough. Maybe roses. I don't know. I'm not the best. I'm learning glass. This title is rough for me. A lot. What I would do is this is the title, right? Because you can still add a lot more to the description, and that also helps with search as well. So I would move some of the stuff to the description for sure if it got cut from the title.
So you get 80 characters. I would change it. One of the abbreviations that will work is changing vintage to VTG.
Yep.
I would absolutely leave the color because a lot of people looking for depression glass are looking for specific colors. So I would put vintage, the abbreviation pink depression glass, and I would get rid of candy and nut. I'd put trinket dish. I would probably, I haven't added up in my head, but if you can get fleur-de-lis in there, you need to. And if not, then I would put diamonds.
Usually I would say to keep vintage, but because it's depression glass, and I see people saying this in the comments, everybody and their mother knows depression glass is vintage.
True.
So you can probably take out vintage. Do you need pink? They have eyes. They can see your photo. So maybe just depression glass, trinket dish. I don't like candy and nut. Trinket is better. I would add candy and nut back in at the end if I had room. Hearts and roses. maybe pink hearts, and then take out roses. And then the fleur-de-lis is important because that is like popular. But if you can't fit it, because again, they have eyes. So you want to stack your titles, most important left to right. You want to put your most important words at the front, going to least important. And when you build your titles like that, when you run out of room, you can work your way backwards, taking things out.
I like to look at the sold listings, and when it's at a price that I would want to prefer, I would kind of mimic that listing title. So for this one, I would put vintage fleur-de-lis pink candy trinket dish, but I would include a measurement of the height, at least something to give them a vision of how big it is. I often do that on eBay and on knickknacks. Just something I do because when I had an apartment years ago, we didn't have a lot of space. So when I was a buyer, not knowing about thrifting and reselling, being a customer, we didn't have very much space. It was very limited. So I always had that in my mind to add to this. And with what I just said I would do in the title is very short and it's straight to it. And like Starr said, the colors would be inside the item specifics. You could add the measurement if you didn't want in the title, in the description. So there's different ways of playing with it, but I often refer back to sold listings. Why did it sell that way? And why did the other one sell differently? It's usually because the words are better placed.
So for me, I would probably pull out vintage. A lot of times I'll put vintage as the brand so it gets picked up on the item specifics and when they search. I would probably leave pink depression glass, candy nut trinket dish, and then I would want to get fleur-de-lis in there. The hearts, the roses, the diamonds, I would add as I could. But I think fleur-de-lis is probably more popular than hearts, roses, and diamonds. But I would pull vintage because, again, I use it as my brand on a lot of stuff that are unbranded. So if you knew the brand of depression glass, you're going to use it. If you don't, you can use vintage as the brand, and then you're going to get it in there anyways. And yeah, so that's what I would do. All right, I'm going to do one more question, and then we are going to call it a night. So Sarah Sells Small says, I have an order going to Canada and I can't ship it. I assume this is because of the postal strike. Any ideas of what she should do? It is supposed to ship by tomorrow.
I think she got a lot of answers in the comments. A different service would be the first thing I would look into. Different shipping provider. Actually, that'd probably be the main thing I would do, whether it would go through pirate ship or whatever, or if they, because I don't know. Obviously, they selected a certain way. I mean, I don't know if it's going to cost you more. You know, I only use the one that eBay provides, so I don't do a lot of international shipping myself, so I can't speak exactly what you should use, but I would look into UPS or FedEx or whatever, a different provider.
And given what Jimmy said, let's assume that you can't ship it. Then what I'm doing is I let the buyer know, and then I reach out to eBay on Facebook. I send them a message and say, hey, I had this person from Canada buy it. Shipping isn't an option for me. And see if you can get some feedback from them. And if nothing else, then you can avoid getting dinged for it for not shipping it. But assuming you couldn't ship it, that's the direction I would go.
Look, it says she has international shipping on, and it's red and says no shipping options. She has international shipping on.
Yeah, so right. I would go with what Scott said. Your best bet is to reach out to eBay for Business on Facebook or their eBay for Sellers on Instagram, because you're going to get one of their folks that work out in California that's like based here, and you're going to get a better answer from them than calling the number. And just let them know, like, let them advise you. Do they want you to reach out to the buyer? Do they want you to cancel the order? Do they want you to hold it back until you can ship? And will they remove that shipping ding for you if that happens?
Yeah, I would take a screenshot of that just for your own sake to have as proof. So if, say, eBay dings you because you cancel it and you don't get the customer to say, yes, cancel it on their own, just to show proof, because things happen and people aren't always paying attention, even the employees of eBay. But what I have done before in the past, I have asked people, because they would message me, I bought this, but I don't think I'm going to be back home on time to get it. What can we do? So sometimes they will do this before they purchase or after, right? So I would ask them, is there anybody within the States that are going to travel, say overseas, or say in this case, I think Canada, anybody in the States that I could mail it to that you may be visiting, or if they're going to visit you, that they could take with them. And that has worked more than over 50% of the time. So that's another thing I would see with the customer. If there's a different address that they could use after they cancel it, and then have them put the address in there.
Yeah, so for me, I'm probably going to try and get the buyer to tell me that it's okay to
Yeah.
cancel it and say, look, like the Canadian strike's going on. I'm sorry, but they're showing me that I have no option to ship. Is it okay with you that I cancel and refund this order? And I might even like tell them like, hey, I'll give you an extra 10% off once the strike's over. Go ahead, send me an offer, make a note, let me know, and I'll accept it. I think that's probably what I would do, because they know they shouldn't be shopping in the US. They know there's a strike. They know we can't ship, if you live there, so that is probably what I would do. We are going to close this out. Kelly, the Artful Journey, said, sorry, I'm late. Just finished my Whatnot show. Hi to Kat, Starr, Scot, Sunny, and Jimmy. So, hi, Miss Kelly. I'm going to give you something. I don't know what. I'm going to figure it out. And then we will let everybody tell you guys bye, tell you where to find them. And yeah, so here you go.
Hi, I'm Goddess.
So little.
So cute.
So tiny.
He was so little. It's crazy. All right. I'm going to make everybody big. Jimmy, Scott, and Starr, let them tell you goodbye and where to find them. And then Sonny will tell you what he's got going on. I will as well, and we'll let you guys know who's going to be on next week. So here is Jimmy.
Thanks everybody for hanging out. Jimmy Old School Flips on YouTube and mainly Facebook. I do a little Instagram. Instagram's a good place to get a hold of me. I also have a podcast. It's called Buy It All. It's on my channel, and then we have a new channel on YouTube. And since it's pretty much social, I do live auctions every Monday night on Dibdit.com, selling on there. So that's where you can find me.
Perfect. Here is Starr.
Hi, I'm Flippin Hippos on all the things: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Just look for Flippin Hippos. I have a Facebook group, Flippin Hippos Reseller Pod. And every Friday night, I do live sales on my new YouTube channel with 7 of my friends. It's called 10th and Main.
Perfect.
Thank you for watching.
Scott, Chachingking on YouTube and Instagram. I have Facebook and TikTok, the others. I just don't use them very much. This week, I've got a couple of videos coming out. One on feedback and how I think I do all of that wrong and don't do what I do. And then I've got this printer that I'm doing, a thermal printer that prints in 2 colors. So that's pretty cool. Outside of that, next week, I have nothing going on because Melody and I will be in Duluth, Minnesota for vacation. So I am looking forward to some time off.
Perfect. Sonny, what's going on and where can they find you?
Remember, I am Scott Chachingking, and I told you about what AB means for jewelry, okay?
No.
And I also told you about the discount code and how to do that. Sorry, that's everybody else. I'm here because things are getting a lot better in my personal life with some health issues. And that is such a good thing for me to say and feel out loud, because a lot of times we say things, like we feel things, but when we say it, it's scary. So a lot of what me and my wife and my family are going through, it's very vague, but it's also hard. So I am just thankful that I am able to have what has been going on be a little better each day for me to be here and to hang out with y'all, because I could be at the hospital again, which I will be tomorrow. I was there today, but I'm there every day. And this is going to be going on until maybe January. This is nothing that's like, oh, I got a cold. It's pretty severe, and it's something we really want to work out, but it's in the hands of science. the doctors. So just pray for us and our family. I'm so grateful to be here and see all of y'all and have fun and just have some like time away from seeing fluorescent lights and just like hearing beeping at the hospital all the time. It's not driving me crazy because it's a place I want to be. But this is also where I want to be too. So I'm glad things are working out in short.
Yeah, and I see a lot of support for Sunny in the chat, and I am more than happy to. We have good people. We have Scott, Gino, also Marsha. We have a lot of people that will come on last minute if Sunny has family that needs to come first, and that does come first, guys. I think for all of us, as it should. Family definitely needs to come first. Next week, both new guests that have never been on before. We have Steven, the flight attendant, and Mama on a Mission. Both of them have never been on before, so we will have them on with us next week. I'm trying to get you guys some new people. So if you have people you want to recommend, if you're friends with them, tell them to message me and ask to come on. We are more than happy to get them on. I would like to share as many new people, and it's nice to have different viewpoints and opinions from people that we don't know. You know, we all do this business different, and it works for us. And I think ultimately you should take a little piece of, you know, everybody that you like and make your own business model and figure out what works for you. So I appreciate you guys watching. I will have a what sold video out for you guys tomorrow. Friday is going to be $100 purses. You guys liked my $150 purses. I'm trying to do ones that you guys are more likely to find at the thrift stores if you were out thrifting versus my traditional, what I like to do in the wow factor, you know, with like a $3,000, $4,000 purse. I'm trying to do ones that are a little more attainable for you this time. Sunny, I'm glad that you could be here with us for sure. Scott still came and hung out, and Jimmy and Starr for coming on as well. I don't have my outro. I did not do my intro or my outro, so we're going to have to wave you guys out like old school. I appreciate all of you in the chat. We cannot do this live without you guys, and we will see you next week.